Okay, normally we have people write down a question and send it on the chat. And Adriana will ask the question, but since she's having a problem, with her connection and so forth, if you have a question, just raise your hand and she'll unmute you and you can ask the question. If we don't have any questions, we're going to go to lunch early today. For the new people on the call, encourage you to come back. Now, the training I do won't vary 1/10 of 1% each week, but after the training, when we get the Q&As going here, there's always something new that people are learning. So a lot of things. Matt, you want to make a comment? Unmute Matt so he can comment because he's been on.
I like to hear you, and I have you many years back, and I know you very well, and I learn every time I listen to you and Adriana. So I'm so happy for this answering question because I have something more in my bag I can work with.
Great. Carolyn, I know you got something you can say.
I do. You always, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
You make reference to having your partner link his phone to the presentation and show how to do the app.
How to send it
I
out.
always, pardon?
How to send it out.
Right. Do you normally have him do that as part of this presentation, or are you talking about like a three-way with him when we have someone new?
Well, we don't have them, of course, on the Zoom thing, but
right.
You can actually, if you don't want to wait, 3 weeks till we have the new app out, Adriana can send you a link to the original app. Okay.
Right.
So you can go on that original app and you will see him do the demonstration on how it works.
Okay. There's a recording of it on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's him. It's, he actually links his phone to the thing and it's part of that app. Now, just so you know, that app costs $15 a month. And if you pay annually for it, you get 2 free months. So it averages the cost to $10. Okay. Now, don't buy that app annually. Okay. Because the new app in English should be out, by the end of this month, actually.
Right.
And so when the new app comes out, it's like night and day. Okay. On a scale of 0 to 10, the original is like a 3, and this new one's going to be like a 12. So you're going to want the new one. There's 2 separate companies. So you just do the monthly, you spend $15, you get to use it, to start playing with it, knowing that it's going to get a lot better. And when the new one comes out, 2 separate companies, just cancel the first one and get the new one. And
Perfect.
You're good. You're good.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions on that?
Maybe just an add-on, Carolyn, it is really, really easy to send out the things. It's for somebody who doesn't have his phone in his hand for the first time, it's self-explaining, I would say, like even on the old app. And I think the new one even
It's gonna be better.
Better, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
We're totally excited about it.
Super exciting. Yeah.
They understand something too, that, I have the only app in the world that teaches people how to drive the vehicle. That's, of course, understanding network marketing. And we won't have any competition because there's nobody else in the world that has a book that sold over 11 million copies. And Nancy and I did training seminars in over 35 different countries. I'll give you an example. We did a seminar years ago in Kiev in the Ukraine. There were 1,500 people there. And after the seminar, we autographed at least 12 different black market versions of my book. Never made a penny in royalty from that, but they made us so famous in Russia that we had 2 seminars in Moscow. Each one had 2,000 people. One in St. Petersburg had 10,000. One in Kazan which is the second largest city in Russia, we had 6,500. So we became very well known in Russia. In fact, a Russian company had us in Cancun, Mexico for a week with 800 of their leaders, 200 from Vietnam, the leader being a woman. This was in October. And in November, she wanted to know if we could come to Vietnam for their 10th anniversary. And I said, well, how do we get a visa that quick? And she said, well, we don't need to get a visa to go. You just show up with your passport, go to the desk, pay the money, whatever it is. I don't know how much it was, someone else paid it, and you get your visa. Well, at the point they made the formal invitation for us to be there, they had sold 250 tickets. When we got there, they had 4,500 people. And that was because for 29 years, the book had been black marketed in Vietnam. So, I mean, just unbelievable things. We've done 4 tours of Japan, all over Japan. I did tours all over Indonesia. In Jakarta, we had 6,500 people, and Malaysia, Tunisia, and so forth. Really, in fact, I got a guy just friended me last week from Malaysia, who's been using my book for years there, and totally excited to want to hear about the app and so forth. So we're excited about the app. The market for the app right now, there's 140 million distributors that are in network marketing, and 90% of them don't have a clue what they're doing because they think they're in sales. So this thing's gonna go, and this company, they got the resources to get this thing done for us. And our basic plan is to have it in all the major languages as soon as possible. So any other questions?
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear it. Go ahead.
Oh, the simple question from many people: how to forget about sales? The easiest way to forget about this, because they cannot forget selling.
That's right. It takes a while for people to get that out of their head. I'll tell you another thing that's good for you to know, and that's the difference between making an emotional decision and a business decision. This happens to everybody. Somewhere along the way, you're going to be trying to sponsor someone, and it turns out that they have a relative in their family or somebody in their family already in that business, but they're only a customer. And they're not, building a business, obviously. And the person feels obligated to sign up under that relative. Okay, folks, that's an emotional decision. Tell them that you can go ahead and do that. You're making an emotional decision, but if you want to make a business decision, sign up under me. Of course, that's you talking. Sign up under me, because I know what I'm doing. If you want to make a lot of money and retire in 3 to 5 years, I can teach you how to do that. We have the tools to teach you how to do that. Go ahead and sign up on your relative. You're never going to make any money. So what do you want to do? So that's simple things there. See, we tell people that, once you've been on the Zoom training a few times, that you can come back and just tune in like for English 30 minutes after we get started. And if it's, Polish with the translation, tune in 45 minutes. So we've been already adding some new people here. Hey, Timothy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Mr. Don Failla. Good evening.
Timothy,
Oh,
tell us, you've been on the call several times now.
yeah. I've been following you up. Though most of the time I follow up the recording because I have
got you.
other meetings that clashes with the time.
Timothy, where do you live? What country are you in?
I'm a Nigerian.
Nigeria, okay, that's
Yeah.
super.
Yeah.
I've got a publisher in Nigeria, and if for people who don't know this, Nigeria is one of the largest countries in the world by population. And most of the people in Nigeria speak English under a certain age. You get the older people different. See, once you got it
Yeah.
down and you understand what we're doing here, your market's the world. It's wherever your company's doing business. Okay, so back in the beginning, they used to say you work your neighborhood first. Okay, well, we never did that. We always worked the world because you can communicate. Like right now, we can see each other, can talk to people and so forth. And we got Nigeria on the thing. We've got, I know Matt's from Sweden. We got people on here from the US, of course. Any other countries on here?
Poland.
Germany.
Yeah, oh yeah, Germany,
Yes,
Germany, and
Germany.
UK? Anybody from the UK?
UK. Selina is from UK.
Where?
Selina.
Just chat. Chat it. Where? Oh yeah, Italy, yeah. Buenos Aires.
Buonasera.
So did you ever think you'd be on a sizzle session and you could have people from a half a dozen or more different countries all together? That's how your business can grow, folks.
I am from Poland, but I live in UK.
Okay, UK.
Hello.
See, once you learn the fact that you don't have to say anything, and the tools can do the talking, then you know that anybody can do the business. Because if people, like I said, we teach people not to talk, because if they think they have to say and do what you're doing, they're never going to do anything. I mean, I tell people, you listen, I don't care if you listen to this training 3-4 times, you don't have to do it yourself. I mean, when you get the app, it's like you have myself in the palm of your hand, you have Jeff Romaldi in the palm of your hand, and depending on the country, have a key person that does translation. The Polish people have Adriana, and so forth. And you have to do is use us. That's it. Put us to work. We're working for you. Oh, I got something. I just looking at Caroline reminded me that which really motivated a new person she's bringing into the business. This person had a company that she had a lot of employees. I mean, a lot. And what she heard me say that really got her excited was that I had 1,400,000 people, distributors in my organization. And, I'll do 150 million in volume. And I've never had a secretary. And she says, boy, do I love this business because I don't have to deal with employees anymore. I mean, I do have one employee. Okay, that's my son. And he manages my 3 properties. I see him every day and comes picks me up in the afternoon. We go swim in jacuzzi every day. That's it, folks. I mean, where can you have a business where you can make 150 million and you have a $20 a month overhead? I mean, she's just totally excited. So some of the new people that came on, you've been on before. If you have anything you would like to say, just raise your hand and Adriana will unmute you.
They can unmute themselves.
Oh, they can. Okay, good. Well, that's good,
Well, I'd like to share. I took part in a webinar yesterday that was all about a 60 days run. And I just took part to see what it's about. And everything inside of me was like, no. Because they're like trying to like just run out, speak to as many people as possible to make as many new partners in a short period that run. I mean, you have then, I don't know, 100 new team partners, and at the end of the year, probably one, and that's probably not the best you could have got. So it was good to know that every single week being here and listening to that, it gives me that inner feeling of, no, this is not how it should be done. This is not how network works. So just lean back, let them run its way.
Well, for new people, you may not have heard this before, but this is the biggest industry in the world where the blind are leading the blind. People who don't have a clue how this thing works. And you can spot them, like a company's doing a training program, person gets up and says, first thing you got to do is make a list of 100 names. Folks, that's what a sales manager tells a salesperson to do. You tell me. Yeah, this was, to me, the most fun part for me on these Zoom trainings, because I'm doing 2 of these things a week for over a year. Just hearing people like Britta, talk about, going to a meeting and you got people up there don't know what they're talking about. See, you wouldn't know that they didn't know what you're talking about until you've heard the training. Once you hear it and you understand it, then you realize that, gosh, you can see why companies are going down. See, a lot of companies that are going down, they're actually, if they make their own products, which very few companies do, but if they do, they're buying up other companies that are going down to get their customer base to keep their factories going, making their products. Okay, you can see the ones that are not making it out there. See, and another thing too, like if your company is in different countries, it's very, very easy to start an organization in a different country. Very simple. I'll go over just with one country just to give you an idea, because we've been doing a lot of work with people in Poland. All you do is you go on Google and say, like, for example, I'm in America and I speak English, right? So I would go on Google and I would say, how many Polish people live in America? Well, Google will tell me 9.5 million. And then I go back to Google and say, where do the Polish people live in America? Google will tell me so many 100,000 in Chicago, so many in New York, so many all over the place. Okay, go back to Google, ethnic publication in Chicago for Poland. They'll give you the publishers. There might only be one. Now, note that ethnic publications, they don't have a large circulation. Okay, so it's very, very inexpensive. I have somebody here a couple of weeks ago put an ad in a Polish publication in America. He has 3 months in the publication for $24. Okay, so basically, you run it. I say I'm here in America, I'd run the ad in English, even though it's a Polish publication. Now, little secret here, why I would do it in English, because when people open up the classified section of the paper, the font size, the print in Polish is different than English. And I'm maybe the only ad in there that's in English. The eye is going to go right to the ad. Everybody opens up the paper, it's going to see the ad. And anybody needs help, writing ads, you can work with Adriana. She's very good at posting things and so forth. But something in the online, have you ever thought about owning your life, having time, money, and health, visiting your friends in Poland and so forth? And then you make contact with the person. And let's say, for example, of course, you want it in English because you don't speak Polish and you want to catch someone who's bilingual, okay? So when you talk to that person, you say, you realize that you get started in this business I'm talking to you about. I'm assuming your company's in that country. You can go to Poland and visit your friends and family And that's 100% business expense because you're going over there to talk to them about your business. So once you get to Poland, you talk to them, they get them signed up and say, gosh, do you know other people in America? You know, and so forth. And they do. Well, you could go to America. You know, I don't know how the tax is in the different countries, but anyway, that's so simple. And what I just said there, you could do with any other country. Can you imagine, you know, doing a Japanese publication in San Francisco, for example? Can you imagine the English against, you know, what Japanese print looks like? Everybody's going to see the ad. I mean, just for the heck of it, you know, I checked a couple of different, you can have fun, just go through Google and ask them the question. There are 50 million Germans live in America. There's German towns all over the place. Okay. How many little Italies are in America? All over the place. So people who say, you know, no friends left, I mean, just sit behind a computer and start working with Google and start contacting these people and run these little classified ads. Can you imagine if you only had one person that was active in just 5 different countries? Okay. And you don't pick a country, obviously your company has to be doing business there, but pick a country where you might like to go yourself and you could take a trip to visit that country. Any questions on regarding that?
I can add something because the secret of success in MLM, I guess, is being touched with your knowledge somehow. That means being here on Zooms or listening your recordings or reading the book or just watching the recordings from the app. And the second part is just exercising. That means making exercise every day with someone and talk with him about owning his life. Is that so simple? Yes.
Yeah, and in regards to what she just said, that if I want to talk to someone that I personally sponsored, I don't call them first. I go down several levels deep in their organization, and I start at the bottom and I talk to that person. Then I talk to his sponsor and his sponsor. I finally get to the person I want to talk to. When I'm talking to them, I say, "Yeah, I was just talking to so and so in your downline," and they see that, gosh, boy, Don's there working for me. You know, just little tips that can make a really big difference. I will announce that I've got to leave here in 10 minutes. So
there is a
if anybody
question
has
from
any final
there is
questions.
question from Timothy here on the
Yeah.
chat.
So I have a question.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So then you mentioned you suggested something for the NFL. Do you know friends zone, or what's the other part? Sorry about that. So you said that using classified ad would help them reach out to more persons since they feel they don't have much persons they can reach out to. Well, with regards to that, one of my downline was actually having issues with connecting with people because he lives in a remote area. So he said he doesn't have much friends there since they just moved in newly there. And he wants to use ads. But my concern there is if he does that and he gets so many persons, like you said, we can only work with 5 persons, but 1 at a time. So if he gets so many persons and that are, let's say 8, 7, 10 of them are interested, how do we work with all of those persons? Because I'm working part-time. I have a full-time job.
Well, one thing I would do, understanding, you know, knowing the money situation in Nigeria, and what I'm going to tell you right now will work for different countries, that you know, some people say, well, you know, in their country they make $50 a month. You know, I mean, how are they going to pay $20 a month for the app? Well, I tell them that they can get together with maybe 3 or 4 other people and just share the same app. Okay, you could do that. So then you're down to, hardly anything a month. It'll be different for all the different countries, but the first 5 chapters is more than enough that a person would need to get started building their business. Then they can see, it's not like, you're gonna have to buy a book for all your people, because they can buy their own book, once they've read the first 5 chapters, and when they get the app, of course, if you're sharing it, they all can look at the book on the app. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, but sorry, it sounded alike, but not exactly what I was asking for. I was actually talking about the classified adverts, the advert you talked about that
The
we
adverti-
can do on Google, the advertising.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, you can get a group of people and share the cost of an ad too, then share the leads or the see, I understand, and when people respond to your ad that I'm talking about, that is not a lead. There are people out there that sell leads. That does not work. You get a non-sales type that spends $150 a month buying leads. Let me tell you, they talk to 2 people that hang up on them, they're done, okay? But these aren't leads, they are prospects. And the difference is a prospect is someone that responded to your little ad and they're interested and they want more information. Totally different talking to someone like that than just talking to a lead. But yeah, you get some people together in a little group and just share the prospects that come out from the ad.
okay,
There is
okay, thanks for that. But my concern is, since my downline, they are just new to the business, they don't really understand the business that much. So anybody they get, any downline they get, I'll be the one to train that person.
What is it, Adriana?
Okay.
I have a next question here from the chat.
Adriana,
Maybe
did
the
you have a
last
comment?
one. The last one, maybe.
She froze again.
Oh no. Do you hear me? Terrible. Do you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
There is a question. My question is, what
You
would
froze
I?
again.
Oh my. Maybe someone who can speak English can read the question from the chat from Abdul Malik, please.
I can read it, Adrian.
Do you
I
hear?
can read it.
Please.
Hello,
Yeah.
Don. My question is, what would I do after I got my prospect, go through the first 5 chapters of Own Your Life book, and I have them watch my company presentation. And finally, I ask them, what's your commitment about joining the business? And they say they don't have the money now, but when they got it, they will let me know. What would I do about that?
Well, that goes back to my number 1 recommendation for a person getting, started with a new person. Number 1 thing I tell them they need to do is get a job. Okay, because there isn't a company in the world where you can start off your first month paying your mortgage, your car payment, your credit cards, putting food on the table, buying gas. You can't do it. You need a job. Okay. And you got a light at the end of the tunnel with your job. You don't have to like it because you have a way out. Millions of people have no way out. Now, there are 2 exceptions to getting a job, and that's if you have a spouse that can support the family while you're getting started. Now, at what point you do not need the job? You got to remember to put up the building. You always go back to the building. You got to do the foundation before you can put up the building. Okay. So basic foundation, when you go 5, 25, 125, 155, now you kind of got your foundation done. Now you're in a position to start making some interesting money. And going even 1 step beyond that, you're starting to get into some really, really good money. So you just, the other thing is if you have enough money in the bank to live on comfortably, for a year while you're doing the foundation. So if they don't have any money to start, I mean, even if they had money to start, I'd still tell them to get a job, okay? Just you need that. You have to have a way of supporting yourself while you're doing the foundation.
Okay. I have another question, please.
So,
So, Don, there's this thing people say that's very common among many network marketers. I don't know in Nigeria here, I don't know if it happens in other countries as well. They kind of encourage people to have multiple accounts with the same company. Although some companies it's legitimate to have multiple accounts with them, they encourage you. But do you think it's a good idea having multiple accounts? Because I understand it requires that the person will sponsor more persons compared to if they have just one account. So what do you suggest in that regard?
Adriana, did you understand the question, Britta?
I think that it's regarding having multiple accounts in one company. Is it profitable? Is it good? Or everybody should only focus on one
No,
account?
just one. I mean, most people can't do one. How are they going to do two or three? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the same is with the MLM companies. Yes, people are in multi companies and doing something here, something here, something here. Just focus on one. Don't do this like I don't know 20 of them.
Real simple. They'll never build a foundation with any of them, and they never make a lot of money. You got to pick one. Focus on one. Now, if you're in a company and you like their products, but you really see another company you want to be in and so forth, fine, you don't have to stop ordering the products from where you're at. But when you get in another company, you got to leave the people alone that you were in with the first company. You just got to stay away from them.
I heard from somebody from other Zooms that after hearing from you that you were in 5 different MLMs, and every time you build it from the basis, from the zero, they were so shocked that it can be like that somebody is just so ethical and doing this in such a pure way. Yes.
Yeah, I did. I mean, over a period of 25 years, I was in 5 different companies, and I left them, every one of them, for very good reasons I don't need to go into right here. But when I got started with another company, I didn't take everybody from the original company with me. I mean, the company I'm with now, the 4 people I started with were people when Nancy and I were doing a seminar tour in Europe. I ended up meeting somebody in Germany and in Norway and Italy and so in Finland, I mean, different places, brand new people. I mean, we literally drove all over Germany, meeting their friends, drove all over Italy, meeting that person's friends, so forth. Don't have to do that anymore, folks. Stay at home, save your gas, do it on Zoom. So Adrian, I've got to go.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody, and you especially, Don. Thank you very much, and see you next week. Next week, we have for 2 weeks we have a Zoom with Jeff here. So please join the different maybe kind of presentation, different way of doing MLM, but together with Don, we will be here and we will listen Jeff from OYL. So I invite you, welcome.
Thanks for reminding me. You guys have a good weekend.
Thank you very much. Bye, kisses. See you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.